Let's take a look at the blade cutting function of the xTool M1. I'm going to show you how to cut some heat transfer vinyl as well as some adhesive vinyl and some tips for cutting those materials with this machine. This is the inside of the xTool M1. This module here houses the laser, which can cut and engrave all kinds of hard materials. It also has a blade that can be used for finer materials. If you want to learn all about the xTool M1 and what the laser can do, take a look at this video up above. The blade is held in there by a magnet and it just pops out really easily. This is really similar to a Cricut blade in that there is a little button on the bottom. You can pop it in and out to replace it as needed. And then to put it back in, you just pop it back in the hole. Again, it attaches to that magnet. Nice and simple. I have been cutting and engraving a number of different things, and so the base of my M1 is a little dirty. So the first thing you always want to do is clean this before you start cutting with the blade. I'm just going to use some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel and really clean that base plate well. The machine comes with two mats. This is the light grip mat. You're going to use this for most vinyls that you're cutting. Unlike a Cricut mat, it has adhesive on both sides. So the first thing you want to do is pull the protective sheet off of the back, revealing the adhesive side. Then we're going to take this and stick it to the base plate of the M1. The adhesive on the back helps hold the mat in place while it's cutting. When you're using a Cricut, you have the rollers that hold it in place. This adhesive works just like that. Once it's pushed down and in place, then I'm going to remove the top sheet of plastic, revealing the adhesive side on there that's going to hold the vinyl. I opted for the premium materials bundle when I first got my M1, and it came with a whole bunch of sample materials, including all these different colors of HTV. HTV, or heat transfer vinyl, has a glossy side and a matte side. This material can be adhered with heat to most fabric surfaces and wood and a few other surfaces as well. This guide comes with that premium materials bundle and gives you a really good outline of what type of settings you need for each material. So with this white heat transfer vinyl, I am going to cut out some text and put it on this t-shirt. When using HTV, you always want to cut from the back. So that glossy side is going to go face down on top of your mat, and you're going to cut on this matte finish here. You can put it anywhere on the mat. What I love about the M1, as soon as I close this lid, there is a camera in there that is going to take a picture. And then you can see that in your software, and it's going to help you place your graphics and text. Here in the software, and this is a free software that comes with the machine, you can see the M1 has taken a picture of the white vinyl on the blue mat. Now I'm going to import an SVG. This is an image I am going to use. This particular one is from the Weekend Craft SVG membership. There's a description of what this is down in the description of this video. This is a great way to get really unique and creative graphics and images that you can use to create all kinds of things. You can also upload graphics like a PNG or a JPEG, but SVGs work really well. Now, the first thing that I'm doing here is I am flipping this image because I'm cutting from the back of the HTV, and so I need to mirror it. The next thing I'm doing is drawing a box around my graphic. This is an optional step, but I like to do this so that when it cuts, all that extra vinyl that I'm not cutting is still intact and I can use that for another project. Now I'm going to choose my settings over on the right. I want to choose blade cut, not laser. And then I want to go with the recommended settings. The booklet that I showed you before, you can refer to the settings there, or you can use the little mark on the side here where it says xTool recommended, and you will get a list of how you should cut certain materials. Once I know that everything is lined up just right, it's time to hit process. Once I hit process, I need to go over to the machine and hit the button on the front, and then the blade will start to work. Unloading this material is a little different than a Cricut. It does not just slide out. I have to actually pull that adhesive off the bottom. I have found that the best way to do this is to pull the whole mat out and then remove my design. Now the back is sticky, and so I want to take this and put it right on that plastic carrier sheet right away so I can really keep that back looking nice and keep it intact. As far as I can tell, xTool does not sell their own weeding tools. I'm just using a Cricut weeding tool here. Down in the description, you can find a link to my favorite weeding tools, but you're gonna need something sharp and pointy to pull off all the excess pieces. Now you can see here where I cut the box around the text. I'm gonna save that HTV because I'm gonna be able to use that for a different project. I found that this material weeds very well. I didn't have any issues with this at all. I was quite impressed with the quality of the HTV. With the image fully weeded, it's time to put it on my shirt. I am using a heat press for this. You can also use a manual handheld heat press or a household iron. I really like this machine because it's helped me line everything up. I have a ruler here that shows me where the center of my t-shirt is. Then I can take my design and just gently fold it to create a center point. And I'm going to line that fold up with the center line on the ruler. This HTV carrier sheet is just a little sticky, so it's gonna hold in place on my shirt. And then I'm just gonna press it. With this machine, I'm gonna press it for about 20 seconds. And then when it's complete, I can just pull that carrier off and my shirt is done. Overall, the quality of this HTV is really nice. The shirt has held up well and I love how it turned out. Let's switch gears and cut some adhesive vinyl. This also came in the premium materials bundle. The difference here is there is a white backing on it and this feels a little bit thicker. Adhesive vinyl is just the way it sounds. It's permanent. It can stick to any hard surface. And again, in the materials package here, you can find the settings for cutting. You can also find this online and in these design software. You follow the same process for adhering the mat to the base plate, but with adhesive vinyl, I'm just going to put it face up. So the black is the color I'm using. I'm going to make sure that is facing up, and then I'm going to close it and head over to my software. For this, instead of importing an SVG or an image, I'm just using the text tool and typing out the words craft supplies. And I'm going to choose a font from the side here. You can also play with the size and a couple other options there. I'm going to again select blade cut and then use the recommended settings. Again, I have to point out, I love that there is a picture of the vinyl in here, so I can really be conservative with my space and I can save my scraps of vinyl. When everything's ready, I hit process, I hit the button on the machine, and I let the blade cut out my words. Before weeding this, I'm gonna cut out the piece of vinyl that I need and save the rest. Then using a weeding tool, I'm gonna pull off the excess, just leaving me with the text that I wanna put on my container. Now, in order to transfer these words just as they are from the backing to the container, I'm going to need some transfer tape. xTool does have transfer tape, but you have to buy it in a bundle. It doesn't look like they sell it on their own. But there's tons of options for transfer tape out there. I do have one linked below that I really like. To use transfer tape, you cut a small piece and use a scraper tool like this one, and you place it on top of the letters, push down really well, and then pull off the backing. Then I place this on my container, use that scraper tool again, and pull off the transfer tape. So I tested HTV and adhesive vinyl using the blade function of the xTool M1. Overall, I'm pretty impressed. It's really easy to use. The only downside, I think, is having to reach into the machine and pull that mat out with the design already cut on it. It's just a little more clunky. However, the materials are excellent and the cut settings were perfect every time I tried them. If you have an M1, I highly recommend checking out the Premium Materials Bundle. It comes with HTV and vinyl and a ton of different materials for you to test out. Figure out what you really like before you go ahead and invest in more. I hope you learned something with this video today. Let me know what other questions you have down in the comments and consider subscribing so you don't miss my next video. I am here with something new every week and we'll have lots more xTool videos to share with you soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.